Well, my view isn't worth a lot. You want to look at the actual studies being done by, I think it's epidemiologists, isn't it? Because their studies are based in data. And that's where you'll get your answer, not the random opinion of somebody. But of course, it's very, very easy to look at some of the figures and think, oh, nefarious. But they're not always. We knew, for example, in the 80s that more women were picking up smoking as a habit. Up until, I think it was the 80s, the more men smoked than women. And obviously, because more men smoked, more men died of lung cancer. Women didn't. But we knew that as smoking became more fashionable among women and more women were smoking, that 20 or 30 years down the line, more women would be dying of lung cancer. So we knew 20 odd years ago that with our increasingly sedentary lifestyle and our diets, which were more highly processed, that there was going to be a rise in things like heart disease and obesity. And heart disease and obesity are also correlated with cancer. So you can pull the threads of a lot of these quite a long way back to say, well, we did know, and this is it coming to fruition. And there's a whole raft of science devoted to studying like this. And it's interesting to look at. It's also very interesting to look at because, of course, it means that people are ticking up and going, oh, the COVID vaccine causes cancer because there's an uptick in cancer. Actually, there's no evidence to suggest that at all. What there is evidence to suggest is that COVID itself may increase the risks of certain things, and obviously lots of people had COVID. And also, because of COVID and the lockdown, people didn't go and get picked up and screened as early as they would have done, so they didn't get treated. So that's caused an uptick. Things can be, and I'm not accusing you of this, made to seem very simple, when quite often they're not simple at all. But if you want to go and look it up, do go and look it up, because I find it really, really interesting. And once you've looked it up and you've seen how, epidemiologists untangle these threads and trace them back, it means it's a lot harder for people who believe that YouTube is valid research to pull the wool over your eyes with their silly arguments.